If you're anything like me, the word no is very scary. It's negative. It is something that pushes people away, and you just can't say it. I hate saying the word no, but recently it has been the only thing I've been saying. I have purposely been making myself say the word no, at least initially, to actually gain myself more time and decision-making power on the things I do and the way I structure my schedule. I do a lot of things for other people. People-pleasing is a personality trait that I think a lot of people have, and it's a very difficult one to overcome because guilt of letting someone down and hurting someone and not being there for someone is so strong that you just agree to make someone else feel better because you'd want the same in return. If I asked for help and someone looked me in the face and said no, I would feel hurt. So that's clearly how someone else is going to feel. Incorrect. That is not true. That is something that our brains have made up to justify why we just agree to everything willy-nilly. So in using the word no, my goal is to get control of my schedule back. Twice in a matter of an hour, I have been pulled to do something else. Normally, I would just agree because I am highly agreeable. I feel guilty for letting someone down, but I actually feel better that I said no. That I was able to up front tell someone that I actually don't have the time and stay committed to myself. It's no different than if I made dinner reservations with someone at 6:30 and I showed up at 7. They're gonna be upset. I have a drive to be there at 6:30 because that's what I committed to. So why then would I take back the commitment I made to myself just because there's nobody else involved? The commitments you make for yourself are just as important. If I said I was going to do this tonight and I didn't do it, if I told somebody I was going to meal prep for them and then I didn't do it, how upset do you think they would be? They'd be pretty upset. So why is it okay for you to do it to yourself? It's not. That's the first mindset shift you have to make, that you're making commitments to yourself and you're not being selfish. So the second thing is saying no shouldn't be negative. Saying no actually is being honest. You've said yes to things before and then had to go back and say no anyways. You either overcommitted, double booked yourself, or something more important came up later that you actually had to cancel. Nothing is worse than committing to yes and then having to go back and say no. Even if you end up saying yes and doing what someone asked you to do and you initially said no, it's a lot different than initially saying yes and then having to go back and say no, because now you've committed. You've set that train in motion. You've gone to the right. You took the exit. You can't just hit reverse and go back on the freeway. If you keep going on the freeway and you don't take that exit, there's always another exit coming up. It's like the best analogy that I can use for that. So if I decide, I food shopped really quickly, I was able to meal prep in a lot of time, and I'm able to now, I have an extra hour. Now I can do the thing I was invited to do or someone asked me for help for. That's okay. That's way more okay than saying yes and then either canceling on yourself, canceling on somebody else, or having to then say no to the person you committed to. So I'm finding that it's very beneficial for me. I actually feel a lot better saying no and respecting my time and the things I've committed to doing, with it within reason, obviously. Don't be selfish with it. So I urge you, as wrong as it may feel, because it doesn't feel right for me either, to say no, especially to people you care about. Like I said no to my fiance and my mother today. And it sucks, yeah, but I'll see them tomorrow. I'll be able to help them tomorrow. It's not a dire emergency. No one needs to go to the hospital. And I'm not being selfish. I don't do this all the time. This is something I committed to for me, to help me. And that's one of those things you have to change your mindset. You have to understand that and believe that, or you're always going to have guilt. You're always going to be running around for other people, and it sucks. It's not the best. So learning to say no is one of the most powerful skills you could learn if you want to do anything for yourself. If you want to grow, if you want to learn, if you want to even just read more, whatever it is, learn to say no. Learn to do it respectfully and meaningfully. And I personally have found a lot of benefit from doing this already. So let me know down below how saying no for the first few times went, how you feel afterwards, what the outcome was. I'd love to hear from you guys.